Well, we're coming to the end. This is number 9 of 10 on our little video explanations of this wonderful book called Becoming a Contagious Christian by Bill Hybels, pastor of Willow Creek Church back in Chicago. Mark Middleburg was his associate for evangelism. I think is in California here now somewhere. This is chapter 12, Breaking the Barriers to Belief. Not everyone has these, but enough do that it's probably worth talking about. Once in a while, someone has an obstacle they just can't get past, and we have to give them a little bridge so that they can have intellectually responsible answers and reasons to go ahead and believe. Some people, it doesn't matter. They just have a heart for God. Their heart is soft. They're not stuck. But other people are stuck. And until they get an answer, they can't go forward. I was dating Hilda, my wife, and we started dating in November. Her birthday's in April. I drove down an hour to where her apartment was, had some flowers, had a cake. Came in the door of her apartment, and here were some gifts, some things from other people, and here was another bouquet of flowers. So just had a little misgiving, and I said, "Who were the flowers from?" And she said, "A friend." Just a knife in my heart. I was only coming down every third or fourth day, Who was she with the other nights? Was I being kidded here the whole time, thinking I was sort of in an exclusive relationship? I was stuck. Well, we went out to eat, Marie Callender's. I couldn't eat, I couldn't order, I couldn't do anything. Until I found out who those flowers were from. And I finally just had to say, "I'm sorry, I just can't go on. Who are the flowers from?" And she said, "Well, from a friend." Sure enough, it was an old boyfriend. But she says, "It's over, it's done. He's not, taking no very well, but it's over. You have nothing to worry about. Thank you very much." Then I could eat. The relationship could not go on until I got some barriers out of the way. And so once in a while we have to be ready. Does this mean you have to have, a theological degree? No. Does it mean you have to have all the answers to all the questions? No. Does it mean you have to have the Bible memorized? No. Does it mean you have to be able to draw all the charts of prophecy? No. You can just give your testimony for Christ and God will bless it. But if you can add some answers when people are stuck, you may be able to win more people that God puts on your heart. And it's a good thing, because when you get a question you can't answer, it forces you to now hammer it out. The reason I can answer some of the questions I can answer is because I got stumped before, and I had to go and hammer out some questions. I'll tell you one, just for fun. My father was a pastor, was working for an old Japanese lady. He was retired, just part-time. He's 80 years old, Buddhist background. And he invited me to come. He said, "Dan, we're having a little hard time getting her to make a decision. Maybe you'll have something you can help." So I drove out with my dad and another layman. We got down to the hard question was, she was giving offerings at her Buddhist temple to help in honor of the dead relatives. Not a lot of money. I had never answered that question before, but my father was scared to baptize her until this issue was taken care of. And so I tried to quiz her to say, "Are you giving this money because you just want to give respect? Like someone gives flowers at a grave. You know that they're dead. It doesn't make any difference to them, but it's just respect. My mother does that for my father all the time. Or are you somehow trying to hope that your dead relatives are out there in some world, mystical world, and you are hoping that maybe the situation is not quite right because they made poor choices while they were alive, and you're hoping by your offerings to change and better their position?" I said, "That's a problem. God is a God of free choice, and He respects people's free choice. And when they're dead, their free choice is over, and you cannot now get God to override the consequences of their free choice. God will not do that." She got it. Got baptized and died not that long afterwards as a Christian Seventh-day Adventist. Because God gave me, in a moment, an answer to a tough barrier. But now I've been able to answer that question for the 10 years since then, because I hammered it out with her. Well, let's just go through some questions quickly. How do you answer the question, am I going to lose all the fun in life? Lots of kids especially. I'm going to lose fun. I'm not going to be able to do this and do this and do this. No, the party's over. And I'll say, John 10:10, "Thieves come to steal and destroy and take life. I didn't come to take life. I came to give you life. God does not take life away. You do not have to be afraid to get close to God. He says, I will give you life more abundantly. John 6:63, I will give you, my words are life and do better. And I have lived a wonderful life. I wouldn't trade my life with anybody. I've been all over the world, had wonderful friends, done everything because of Christ in my life. You will not be sorry. And the prodigal son, there's a party in the far country, blows all his money. But there's another party at the Father's house. It's not a choice between party and no party. It's this party and that party. You choose. What about losing individuality? I won't be me anymore. No, you will be the most me. You will be the most individual and the most unique. God made you to be you and no one more of you. But sin doles us all down. Communism makes everyone just alike. It is Christianity that makes you the most unique and the most alive, who God made you to be. Number 3, what about pie in the sky by and by? All you guys talk about is someday. What about now? What is God going to do for me right now? Absolutely. God is very clear. God gives you resurrection power. The same power that resurrected Christ, He gives to us today to live a godly life, to give us power to change our lives, to be new creations. The old is gone, the Bible says. Power. Daniel 2, the stone. We're in the kingdom today. Jesus said the kingdom is in the midst of you. It's now. It's here. Yes, not all. Yes, we have reality still to come. But God has given us immense power to live a better life here today. Number 4, does God exist? What are the odds? What are the odds that all of this would just come into being? Where did that Big Bang particle come from that exploded into the Big Bang if such a thing happened? Where did that come from? You're back to God again. What are the odds that the whole universe would come into being? All by positive mutations and just blind chemicals. No one's been able to replicate it without massive jolts of electricity and chemicals. I think there's a God. What are the odds that the human eye would come into being all by accident? Human sexuality, 2 people coming together. I don't think so. Creation and evolution, what are the odds? All by accident. Irreducible complexity. These things that have to be successful in natural selection and the law of evolution, they have to all be there the first day in order to catch food. They can't evolve over millions of years. They got to catch food today to survive. Doesn't make sense. The resurrection of Christ. How do we know? Why would 12 men die? Martyrs' deaths for something they knew to be a lie. No one dies for lies. They died because they had seen him. 12 separate men. I think he lived. Why does God allow so much suffering? Tsunamis and evil. Why? Why? Because God is committed to free choice. You can't give the good people free choice without giving the bad people free choice too. God is going to give free choice, whatever you want, and take the consequences. Until we learn freely how sin is a bad idea, God has to keep the gates open until we figure it out. And so I just want to say to you, these are simple answers. We've just given you a few. Just a sentence or two, and you give a little hump, and people who are stuck, oh, I never thought of that. Okay. It is just true, Jeremiah 29, if you will seek for me with all your heart, I will be found by you. And we need to help people to have simple answers. How to know that God is there, Jesus Christ. Why do you believe in the church? Why do you choose Christianity? Why? How do you know for sure? Give them an answer. Know a reason for what you believe. And there'll be some people in heaven with you. God bless you.